Hey folks, this is Kalani. Going to be talking to you about the wizard build I've been using over the last few days on Diablo 3. Now, I like to call it a blast build because it's very explosive. It's quite melee orientated and there's not a lot of range damage coming in, which means it is a little more risky than some of the safer options, but the damage is ludicrous and it's just incredibly fun to play, in my opinion. So, we're rolling with Electrocute, Arc Lightning, and Storm Armor Power of the Storm. They're on left and right click for me. Explosive Blast with Short Fuse, Teleport with Calamity, Wave of Force with Heat Wave, and Magic Weapon with Force Weapon. The passives I currently run are Glass Cannon, Arcane Dynamo, and Illusionist. So we'll go through how this all ties in nicely together. So your main damage is actually Wave of Force and Heat Wave. Now this does an insane amount of damage. It really is crazy considering it's spammable, and it only costs 25 arcane power. The other damaging ability, or spender we're using, is Explosive Blast with Short Fuse. This does an insane amount of damage, and what's fun is that it can cast while moving. It can be cast while casting other things, so for example, if we use Wave of Force, while we're still in the air, we can Explosive Blast. If we need to teleport, we can teleport and Explosive Blast. It's ridiculous, and it does an insane amount of damage, and I love it. So, everything complements it pretty well, so let's have a look from the start. Electrocute and Arc Lightning is the signature move. It doesn't cost any of your arcane power, can be used while you don't have enough to use Wave of Force. The reason that I use this is that it deals a stupid amount of damage for a signature spell, and it's a cone. So, I mean, you'll be attacking the same kind of stuff you can hit with Wave of Force, just not as much damage while your arcane power regenerates. It just works delightfully. Storm Power, with Power of the Storm, gives you the Storm Armor passive, which shocks nearby enemies for quite a bit of damage. It's quite nice. It can pick off stragglers. It can do a bit of damage while you're kiting. It's really nice. And then reduces the arcane power cost of all your skills by 3. So reduces the cost of your 2 spenders by 3, letting you spam them a little bit more, which is pretty cool. Teleport and Calamity allows you to get around the battlefield a little easier, but the Calamity rune means you deal extra damage when you teleport, so you can teleport and set up a huge AoE combo, but it also stuns. Now, that ties in a little later with Illusionist, but the combo of teleporting into all that damage is crazy. It's amazing. I love it. And then you've got Magic Weapon. Now, Magic Weapon with Force Weapon gives you 20% damage and grants a 2% chance to knock back. I don't really care about the knockback so much. It's kind of fun when it happens, but the 20% damage is what it's there for. If you need a little more survivability, you can run Deflection. When you perform an attack, gain a protective shield for 3 seconds that absorbs 1651 damage. It's nice considering you'll be spamming attacks practically all the time in this build, so I mean you can use that instead of Force Weapon, but it depends what you require. So the passives, Glass Cannon, more damage, pretty obvious. Arcane Dynamo, more damage when you use signature spells. So, you know, I run out of arcane power. Oh no, I'm out of arcane power. So we start shocking a few people. When you come back to using one of these abilities, it now deals 60% extra damage. So, boom. Which is just fantastic. And then Illusionist, when you take more than 15% of your maximum life in damage within 1 second, you essentially reset Teleport, which is the only one we care about. Now, what that allows you to do is essentially perma-stun people, because you can teleport on top of them, and if you get hit for 15% of your life, you can teleport on top of them again, stunning them again. Which, I mean, if you've got the lifesteal or life on hit to sustain yourself doing that, it's perma-stun, which is kind of ridiculous sometimes. But the teleport into stun and AoE damage, it just complements everything else so well. Now, obviously, these are kind of situational, so if you need less damage, but, well, not necessarily need less damage, but if you've got plenty of damage and you need more toughness, you can go for Blur, just to, you know, decrease the damage taken, because Glass Cannon is going to hurt you a little bit. And then these two, I really like Illusionist, especially if you can chain stun. Dynamo can be swapped out, Now, if you want to swap out Dynamo, I'd recommend Paralysis to stun off your Electrocute, which is really fun, or Prodigy, which essentially means you'll be using Electrocute less and Wave of Force more. Again, it just depends on what you want to run. So, I'll give you a little preview of what this build can do.
Power. Look, just over there. I never imagined such a creature. I don't have enough arcane power. I've been healed. A most thrilling battle.
So that's it, the Wizard Blast build I've been using for the last few days on Diablo with my Wizard. Hope you have as much fun with it as I do if you decide to check it out. So thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.